Hey everybody, it's your boy the Stutter God. I'm back with another video. Now, before I start, if y'all hear any background noise, that's just my fans I got going on. Over where I live, we're dealing with a heat wave, so I'm not trying to die of dehydration. So that's why we're basically that's why I'm basically using them, and I'm not really risking I'm not really risking passing out due to heat exhaustion just for a YouTube video. So I'm gonna just let it be. So ahead of time, if it bothers you, then I apologize. But other than that, there's something real important I think we should talk about. Now, if y'all didn't know, there was a police killing of a man named Winston Smith. No, yeah, Winston Smith. Now, supposedly, and the story goes, he is a fugitive and law enforcement were after him. And when they caught up with him, he uh he put out a gun, and because of that, he was shot dead. But here's the thing, though: they don't have any actual video footage of that being the case. No video whatsoever. What we have for right now are the words, what are the words of law enforcement themselves. That's all we have. So we have a group that has sorry. We have a group with a history of racial bias and or uh, rewriting the real rewriting what actual what sorry okay, slow down. Rewriting what actually happened so that it could potentially benefit them in the wrong run, right? We have those types of people. Those types of people where nothing else matters except the thin blue line. Nothing else matters. And to me, I find it really hard to believe their story, right? Mainly because, sorry if you heard that. That's my sister's downstairs. Sorry. So if y'all hear her crying, I'm sorry. But I have a hard time believing that that is the case because, like I said before, have had cops have a long history of making stuff up as they go along. It doesn't help that there is absolutely no footage of what actually transpired, right? To me, this can go in about two ways. The first one is that the officer's side of the story is basically correct, and Winston Smith didn't actually attempt to pull a gun out on him. Now, if that's the case, then his killing could be arguably self-defense, right? I'm just saying it how it is. Lawyers often will say that when you are arrested by a police officer, you do two things. You comply and you remain silent. That's the main advice they give you, right? At least the advice I've heard, right? And to me, it sounds pretty solid. Mainly because you don't want to risk ending up like another statistic, right? And later on, as long as you remain silent, it could benefit you in it could benefit you in the wrong run. But in Winston's case, if that actually if he did the exact opposite and took more of an extreme route, then that's just what happens. It's tragic, don't get me wrong. No matter who dies and what type of person they were while living, it's always tragic for someone to lose their lives. For me, the only exception is to that rule are serial killers, pedophiles, and rapists. In my opinion, that's the only exception to the rule. But there's another route, and that route is that the officers in Minneapolis, that's where it happened, basically pulled a George Floyd, right? And if that's the case, we need to turn up. We need to do the exact thing we did for George Floyd. We need to keep that pressure on them. As long as we keep that pressure, they'll learn that if they don't do it correctly, there's gonna be serious consequences, right? And yes, I know I'm aware. I know that I am basically promoting violence, right? But here's the thing. I'm not promoting a type of violence as in you harm another. No, I'm not promoting that. What I am promoting is that you go out there and you loot and you burn, you make sure that whatever you do sends a message. Because like I said before, my other video, we tried a peaceful route several times, right? And once again, using Martin Luther King as an example, he himself saw the potential in using rioting as a form to get your point across. And that's actual history. That's not the white version. That's the true version of Martin Luther King. And because of that, I'm not going to sit here and let you tell me something that you barely know about. You don't know about Martin Luther King, right? The Martin Luther King they taught you in school was the version they wanted you to see in order to be used as a guilt trip later on. That's their version. The real Martin Luther King, if alive today, could have very well be another version of Malcolm X, right? Now, I know that a lot of people won't agree with me on this, right? There's always going to be that type of people in the comments section who's going to be like, how dare you, blah, 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 shit like that. I don't care. Like, to me, the amount of research I did recently and finding out certain truths about things makes me feel frustrated. I'm angry that I was basically lied to my entire life, right? And I basically feel like, how do I explain this? I basically feel like I'm just, the day I was born black is the day that I was stereotyped and put into a learning curriculum that only benefits the government and white people with power, right? Certain white people, not all. Let me just get that clear. That's how I feel. And because of that, I've come to the point where I had enough. Like, I'm done. Like, people are out here constantly twisting a narrative in order for other groups of people to fit into said narrative. It doesn't matter if they agree or not. They're gonna do regardless, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to bend the knee, right? And I don't know about you, but I'm not doing that. I'm not bending the knee for nobody, right? The only groups of people that I will willingly risk anything towards is my family and my friends. Family and friends, right? So with that being said, I'm not being fooled into taking part in a narrative where I'm basically being taught that my opinion doesn't matter, right? And as in me, I'm talking about people. I'm talking about black people as a whole, and other minorities as well. That's what I'm talking about, right? And for a long time, people have been actively silencing us and or putting out a false narrative in order for people to turn their backs on us. And the more I take time to actively listen about the past and what is happening around me, is more time that I realize that the world I am living in now, or the America that I'm living in now, is nothing but a system that's created in order to boost the white man's ego. And that's it. That's really all it comes down to. Now, when I say that, again, I'm not saying that that's everyone. I'm not, okay? My belief that everyone can't be racist, my belief that everyone can be racist hasn't changed. I still believe that, right? But it's what I'm taking time to listen to and really think about, that expanding the way I think. And I already know that people would probably label me as some type of radical or a bad influence. And that's not the case, because I'm not the type of person that's just willingly choose violence. I'm not that. But in America, where violence is basically everything, I mean, it was how it was built. So to me, since that's the case, taking the time to go out there and make sure that your message is heard, no matter what, even through violent means, as long as no one is harmed in the process, is something that is necessary. And I don't think people should be ashamed of it. I mean, they're already rioting in Minneapolis, because that's where it happened. So they're already doing that. And props to them. I'm proud of that. I'm proud, bro. Yeah. We should all have that same energy. We should all go out there and treat this as like another George Floyd. If the second option is true. Because I'm recording this, the day that I'm recording this, and the day that it's released could be different. Like, the narrative around this could have completely changed by now. Right? So what I'm saying now probably won't make sense. But regardless, I feel like a step in the right direction is making people in power know that we will do whatever is necessary in order to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. And to me, that's the right way to go. That truly is. That truly is. And of course, if it turns out that I'm wrong, and the killing was actually justified, then yeah, I'm wrong. I'll take that L. I don't care. I don't have a problem in admitting that. If I took an L, I took an L. But if I'm not wrong, and the narrative around this remains unchanged, then you already know what you need to do. You already know. And with that being said, with that being said, we should all take the time to realize that despite what people are telling you, and despite what you heard throughout your life, America is a country that is far from perfect. America is a country filled with deep-seated issues that need to be forced out in order for it to truly prosper. Now, of course, another argument that could be made is that what I'm saying could have negative effects on people who are just trying to go about their daily lives. And you're right. You're right. The thing is, though, no matter what you do, there will always be a negative reaction, a positive reaction. And I know that I'm basically saying what I said in my last video. I'm just, explaining a bit more or whatever. But even with that said, sometimes, even though pretty ridiculous to do, it's a necessary sacrifice. Like, no matter what you do at this point, it'll always comes out as negative. Some way, somehow, it will be negative. The only positive thing to do is peacefully protest. Like we would actually gain over that. That's what Gandhi did. He peacefully protested. Guess what happened to him? His whole country turned on him. The day he got arrested, nobody stopped him. They just let that happen. Just because he was peaceful doesn't mean he shared. Just because he was peaceful doesn't mean he shared the same values and sentiment as the rest of the people around him. And that's something you should really take the time to think about. And like, at the end of the day, all I want is for people to have the necessary tools in order to thrive in a fair economy without being subjugated to any form of oppression, no matter the race of that person. That's what I want. Unfortunately, in reality, something like that might not ever happen. Oops. Right now, to me, to be honest with you, I feel like we're living in a war. I feel like there's a war going on. And that war is basically a power struggle between people in power and the citizens of the United States. That's the war. And in order to win a war, you must be able to do whatever it takes. And that's the type of mindset that we need right now. That's really what it all comes down to. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. And also, if you think I should bring back my old outro, please let me know in the comments, and I will do so. But other than that, this has been your boy, the Stutter God. And to my 32 subscribers, I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for taking time out your day to follow me this far. With that being said, I'm out.